What's going on YouTube and Roku TV? This is Big Rob. Welcome to another episode, Big Rob's House of Entertainment and no Chinese food. It's a wonderful day today. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm loving it. Happy to be in South Georgia. Happy you guys are with me. Before I get started, I want to give a massive shout out to the Clady clan from the Zone Collectables. You can find them online. They're the Zone Collectables on Facebook, the Zone Collectables at Gmail. You can find them in the real world. They're in Tifton, Georgia at 305 Main Street. Also, check out their new company, Spotlight Media, on Facebook. The Clady clan is some of the awesomest people ever. This show would not be happening on Roku without them. It probably wouldn't be happening on YouTube without them. They are wonderful people. Give them a like, give them a shout out, go by and see them if you get a chance. I want to thank them so much for everything they've done. Anything your nerdy little heart desires, they've either got it in the store or they will get it for you. They are just the nicest people. And so I just want to give them a really fast shout out and a real big thank you very much for everything that you guys have done and that you continue to do. Not only for me, not only for the Nerdy Man Room Show and Hassel's Review, but for all of us geeks, nerds, dweebs, dorks, and lovers of all things collectible in South Georgia, and just everybody in the community, because that's what they are. They promote unity through community. That's their tagline this year, and believe me, they do it, and they do it well. So, a couple of things this week. I'm experiencing emotions that I don't normally experience. I believe it's called happiness, and I'm normally content and I'm good with that one, but I'm actually happy this week. I don't really know how to deal with that, so y'all bear with me. I'm a little excitable, and that's okay. So the first thing, y'all may notice I'm not wearing my normal black attire. I'm not in my dark side phase today. I've joined the light side of the force. I finally got me a show shirt. This comes from my buddy Paul Zervos. Oh shit, I don't know how to say your name, Paul. I apologize, Paul. Anyway, I'm gonna put a link. He's got a web store. He does all kinds of graphic art and he does t-shirts, buttons, you name it. Paul can probably do it. He is super talented, super creative. He got some really cool designs already on his website. Again, I'll put the link in the show notes so you can go check him out, give him some love. But he got me my shirt. Check this out. So I'm back up so you can see right on the pocket. It's got my logo. You see that? And on the back, hopefully, far enough back so you can see that. Yeah, my buddy Paul. I'll look at the video and make sure that you can read that. If not, I'll put a picture up. But my buddy Paul put a quote from the great big. Oh wait, that's me. So anyway, thank you so much for that, Paul. And he also got me some Big Rob swag, some flair, if you will. Check that out. Big Rob's House of Entertainment and no Chinese food buttons. I got a whole bunch of these. I don't know yet how I'm gonna disperse them, but if you need a button, you know, drop me a line and let me know why you need a button or what you plan on doing with the button. No, don't tell me that. Yeah, tell me that. So, but anyway, I'll figure out what I'm gonna do with the buttons very shortly. But again, massive props to my buddy Paul. So that's my new swag. I'm happy about that. And I know I've been doing movie reviews and mostly been doing kind of smaller movies or movies that may have flown under the radar. You might not have heard of them. You may have watched them when you were younger, or if you're a kid, if you're younger now, you may have never heard of them. And I'm just trying to bring some stuff to light. This week, I'm going to tell you about a movie that I know most of us have seen. Most of us have seen it many times. And even if you haven't seen it, you know about it. Star Wars, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, as you can see, I love some Star Wars. I could bring out, I've got Laserdisc copies, I've got VHS copies, I've got a Betamax copy of Return of the Jedi somewhere. I gotta find it. I love Star Wars. And this year, 2023, is the 40-year anniversary because this movie came out in 1983. So I didn't watch it on DVD or Blu-ray. I have a bunch of times. I went to the theater. I missed them when they re-released back in the 90s, and I didn't get a chance to watch it then. I had a lot of things going on. So this is the first time that I remember, because I was 2 when it came out, so my parents may have taken me, I don't remember. But this is my first time that I know of going to see it in the theater. And let me tell you something. I don't know if it's the movie nerd in me or just the Star Wars nerd in me or some combination thereof. When I sat down in that dark theater, the lights went down, that music, that John Williams London Symphony Orchestra, boom. And when that title started crawling across the screen and the intro, dude, I got chills. Like, I got nerd chills. Like, that was so awesome. I've seen this movie a dozen times, but to sit down in the theater and watch it, transcendent to me. It's in the theaters for a week. It started Friday. It'll be going through Star Wars Day, May the 4th. Yeah, that's what next week's episode is probably going to be about, Star Wars and nothing but Star Wars. But if you can go, there's only like 400 theaters showing it. But if you get a chance to go, if you got time and you got the extra flow, and you even remotely like Star Wars, man, go see it. Because just in the theaters, it's awesome. So, okay, so let me get a rundown. This is what we do. This is why I'm here. So, Return of the Jedi. Original title was Revenge of the Jedi. That was changed because George Lucas was like, the Jedi were the good guys. They wouldn't seek revenge. And of course, or you should know, that title did get reused for episode 3. When that came out, it became Revenge of the Sith because the bad guys, it's okay for them to get revenge, apparently. This movie had a $32 million budget and has made somewhere in the area of $476 million at the box office. So I think we could call it a slight success. And that's not including the licensing deals, the toys, the props, the home releases. I mean, this movie, it's a $1 billion franchise. That's why Disney backed several truckloads of money up to George Lucas's Skywalker Ranch and just dumped them out and said, thank you very much. And George, of course, swimming in his Scrooge McDuck pile of money, said, you're welcome. Have a great day. This movie and all of the movies has made just tons of money because they're amazing. Yep, I'm a fanboy, and I'm not ashamed of that. And I don't really care about any of your other movies and stuff. And I do. I probably like them too, but I'm a Star Wars nerd. This one was directed by Richard Marquand, relatively unknown director at the time, but there was some issues with the previous director from episode 5. Him and George kind of fell out. So that's who directed this one. Starring the stars: Mark Hamill, it's Luke Skywalker. He's also the voice of the Joker. He's also played the Trickster in The Flash. His voice work, his visual work, he's awesome. You know who Mark Hamill is. Carrie Fisher. It's of my age group, that was your first crush, Princess Leia. And man, she's awesome. Carrie is finally getting her well-deserved star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame this year. I believe it's actually happening on Star Wars Day this year. Her daughter, Billie Lourd, is going to receive it in her honor. I think that's amazing. I think it's well-deserved and probably long overdue. Carrie's been in a ton of other things. Blues Brothers, yeah. So, anyway. Harrison Ford, of course, Han Solo. Holy crap, we all know who Harrison Ford is. Dude's been Jack Ryan, Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games. He was, Indiana Jones. There's a new Indiana Jones movie coming out, The Dial of Destiny. I gotta go watch that. I skipped the fourth one. That crystal skull, I don't have a clue what's going on with that, and I'm probably okay not ever knowing. But we all know who Harrison Ford is. He's awesome. Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca, awesome actor. As far as I can tell, an awesome human being. Everything that I heard about him before he passed away, he's just always such a solid dude. Anthony Daniels, C-3PO. Anthony Daniels is one of the few, he's been in every movie because he says, we're not doing this thing fake. I'm going to put the suit on and I'm going to be C-3PO. We're not doing puppets. We're doing me, baby. That's dedication. Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Kenny Baker is R2-D2 and as one of the Ewoks. Billy D. Williams. Man, we all know who the smoothest pimp in the galaxy is. That's Lando Calrissian, baby. He also played in 89 Batman as Harvey Dent. Can you imagine if that one had a went on and we'd have got a Two-Face by Billy D. Williams? That would have been lit as all get out. Anyway, Dave Prowse as Darth Vader. Just a physically imposing, huge, awesome dude. Sebastian Shaw as Darth Vader with his helmet off. Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader, well, Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost, which brings me back. Alec Guinness was there as a cameo, one day's work, but hey, thank you, Sir Alec Guinness. She came back for us. Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor. That dude is 79 years old, and he is still slaying. If you ever get a chance, I've never gotten a chance so far to go to a celebration or anything where he's actually doing, but I've seen a lot of it online. That dude is awesome. He still does the voice. He's so cool. I have no idea what he's like as a human being, but I want to think that he's nothing like the Emperor, but who knows. James Earl Jones, Mufasa, the voice of Darth Vader. Listen, James Earl Jones, he is just a national freaking treasure. That voice is so reassuring and yet so terrifying if he needs it to be. And it's just awesome. Frank Oz, master puppeteer, voice of Yoda. This dude has done everything. Warwick Davis, 11-year-old dude. We know him from Willow, but he also played Wicket the Ewok. I mean, that's just off the top of my head, basically. This movie, we all know the stars at this point. We should. At least people from my generation. You younger kids, y'all probably know the prequel sequels. The prequel and sequel stars. I'll say that right eventually, maybe. But this is my generation, and yeah, just super excited. So okay, all right. So here we go. So the movie opens up. Of course, you get that iconic crawl. You get that London Symphony Orchestra, and you got Tatooine again. R2-D2 and C-3PO, and they're moving up to this awesome palace. They knock on the door, C-3, oh, there's nobody here. Yeah, there's somebody here. You just calm your prissy self down, C-3PO. They go inside this massive door, bigger than these guys, huge, massive door opens up. They go in, and they go before Jabba the Hutt. The Hutt crime lord, the reason that Han Solo was imprisoned in Carbonite, because he dumped a load of Jabba's spice. And so they come in, the C-3PO tells Bib Fortuna, who tells Jabba the Hutt, I'm excited, and I'm twisting my tongue, and I apologize. Love this. So anyway, they play a message, and Luke Skywalker, in hologram form, says, hey, these two droids are my gift to you, because I'm fixing to come and we're going to talk about getting Han Solo back. Chill. And of course Jabba's like, nah, ain't gonna happen, home slice. These two droids are mine though, thanks for that. So anyway, then Bosch, the bounty hunter, comes in with Chewbacca in tow, does some excellent negotiating, use of a thermal detonator, and come to find out, surprise, that's Princess Leia. So now Princess Leia, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, they're all inside Jabba's palace. Lando Calrissian in disguise as a guard, he's there too. The whole crew's getting back together. Boba Fett's there. He's over in the corner. He's chilling with some of the dancers and the backup singers, so he's cool too, but he's just being quiet because he's Boba Fett, you know. So then Luke shows up. And this is not Luke's hallway scene. Luke's hallway scene comes in The Mandalorian, but Luke does force choke a couple of Moes. And that's a little dark side, Luke, but you are wearing all black, so that's okay. So anyway, Luke gets in there and he kind of twists Bib Fortuna's weak mind, and he says, oh, I need to see Jabba the Hutt. And so Bib Fortuna's like, hey, he's got to talk to you, master. And Jabba's like, fool, don't be weak-minded. What you gonna do? Major domos are hard to find, especially good ones. So anyway, Boushh, as she tried, Princess Leia, she rescued Han Solo from the carbonite. So now he's out of the carbonite. He's force blind. He's got hibernation sickness and he's blind, but he eventually get his sight back. So Jabba decides to feed Luke to his Rancor monster, which is so awesome. I can't believe that HasLab failed. I'm really bummed about that because Rancor's a really cool monster. Anyway, Luke kills the monster. Malakili, the Rancor keeper, he is broken up about that because that was his baby. I don't blame him. As a fat man with a giant monster for a pet. Oh man, I don't have a giant monster. I gotta get a Tyrannosaurus or something. Anyway, I would feel broke up too. I get it, Malakili. It was a sad thing. So anyway, Jabba has decreed that they are all gonna go out to the Great Pit of Carkoon, where they will be digested by the Sarlacc monster over the period of about 1,000 years, which sounds like a terrible, terrible Saturday. Mediocre Monday, but a terrible, terrible Saturday. All right, so they go out to the Sarlacc pit on Jabba's sweet-ass sail barge, because why not? So Luke gives Jabba one more chance. He's like, look, you let everybody go, you're going to be all right. But if not, stuff's about to get real. And Jabba's like, you know, because he's a crime lord. He's been in charge of all the crime on Tatooine for quite a while. He's pretty secure in his place. He should not be. So Luke does a springboard dive. R2-D2 pops the top on his cold one and flips out Luke's lightsaber. Oh, Luke's got a new lightsaber. That's right. He lost his lightsaber in episode 5 when he lost his hand in Cloud City. Now Luke's got a new lightsaber. This one is green. It looks kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi's because that was his master. And it's awesome. So Luke gets to kill them fools. And Lando gets to killing fools. They release Chewbacca. They release Han Solo. Lando gets knocked off the skiff. He almost goes into the Great Pit of Carkoon. They manage to save him. Boba Fett gets knocked in the side. He goes in the Great Pit of Carkoon. We think he's dead because there's a really terrible belch joke. Thankfully, he's not. Now that we've seen Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, we know that Boba Fett is okay. And he's doing well because he took over from Bib Fortuna, and he's running Jabba's criminal underworld. That's great. I digress. That's a different thing. So anyway, so Princess Leia, she jumps up with her slave chain and she wraps it around Jabba's throat. She strangles his Hutt. I don't know if she actually kills him or just chokes him out. I'd like to think she kills him because Princess Leia is a badass. So anyway, Princess Leia and Luke, they jump on, they grab a rope and they Tarzan over to the skiff. They get away. They pick up the droids. They get away. Boom, Jabba's dead. The sail barge collapses, burns. Good job. You guys have rescued Han Solo. It only took you a year. Sorry, there was stuff going on, you know. So anyway, Shadows of the Empire. It's a legend, but it's good stuff. Anyway, so next thing you see is Han Solo and Leia and Chewie and Lando. They're all going to go back up and meet with the Alliance. Luke and R2 are going the other direction. They're going to Dagobah. Luke's got to finish his training with Yoda. So Luke gets to Dagobah. He talks to Yoda. Yoda's not feeling all that great. He's 900 years old. He's had to deal with Sith. He's had to deal with Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's had to deal with Ahsoka. He's had to deal with Qui-Gon Jinn's bullshit. So he's getting tired. He's ready to die. All right. So that's sad. It's a pretty sad moment. But he reveals to Luke that Vader was telling the truth. Vader is his father. And the reason that this was put in, I found out, is because Obi-Wan Kenobi, I apologize. That was a come out of the universe for a sec. George Lucas consulted with some child psychologists before this movie, and he found out that for young kids, they would not necessarily believe that Vader was Luke's father based on Vader telling him, because he's the bad guy, you know. They's like, nah, he probably lying. So George is like, well, Yoda, everybody believes Yoda because he's awesome and green and shit. So he had Yoda tell Luke that Vader was his father, confirming what Vader had already said, so that kids would believe that. That's a neat little factoid. So that's why that. Well, he also tells Luke that there is another potential savior for the galaxy, just in case Luke really screws up, which is nice. And then he passes away in a really drawn out death scene, but it was still really sad. And then his body becomes one with the Force. All right, so then right before Luke goes to leave Dagobah, he's already checking on R2. Well, then Force goes, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hey, Sir Alec Guinness is back. He shows up. He has a little conversation with Luke, and they talk about, yeah, I probably should have told you that, but I mean, technically, from a certain point of view, at a certain point of view, you're going to get your whooped in the South Central, Obi-Wan, but whatever. So anyway, so he confirms, yeah, it was, I was kind of a butthole for not telling you, but it is what it is. And oh yeah, Leia is your twin sister. She's the other hope that you know, in case you screw up really bad. So okay, so then they decide, Luke gets in his X-Wing with R2, and they go up to meet the Alliance too. You find out that now the Empire, after their first Death Star got destroyed by an X-Wing with a couple of proton torpedoes, they're going to sink money into another Death Star, 500 times bigger than the last one, but it ain't done yet. They've got this thing in orbit around the forest moon of Endor, where they got a shield generator on the planet that's keeping it safe from, you know, rebel scum, right? So many Bothans, who are apparently spies, and they look like cats, legends, okay, they're all douchebags, whatever. Anyway, they died to bring that information to the Alliance. So what we're going to do is we're going to have one team that's going to go and assault the Death Star after this other team goes to the forest moon and turns off the shields. So we need two really crazy fools to lead these teams. And so, of course, Han Solo and Lando Calrissian, that's who's going to do it. And Luke comes back just in time to say, I'm going to hang out with Han because he's my buddy. All right, that's cool. So they go to the forest moon of Endor, and Luke feels Vader's presence. And he's like, oh, I'm really messing this up. I need to leave. But I also think I can save Daddy. I think he's cool. And they're like, nah, he kind of evil. That's okay. I think he's cool. I'm going to surrender to him. So he surrenders to the Imperials. They bring him before Darth Vader. And he's like, you're not going to take me before the Emperor because I can sense they still good in you. And Darth Vader's like, nah. Did you not see all the people that I killed on Coruscant? And of course he didn't because he wasn't born at that time. But anyway, he's like, yeah, we're going to go to the Emperor. All right, so while they're on their way to the Emperor, they're on the Death Star. The Emperor's gloating and stuff because that's what bad guys do. And so Han and them, they assault? Yeah, that's the right word. They assault the shield generator's facility. They try and go in the back door, and they beat some dudes down, but then they get inside and realize that it's a trap, that there's like Imperials crawling all over the place. Well, meanwhile, Emperor is telling Luke this. He's like, I just messed your friends up. You know, except he doesn't really gravelly voice, and it's really, really, really scary and awesome. I love it. You know, it gives you chills. Ian McDermott, great actor. Anyway, so again, I'm excited. I love this movie. I'm happy about this movie. I got to see it in the theater. Okay. So anyway, so the Imperials, they capture Han and Chewie and Princess Leia, and they're fixing to get them. Well, then all of a sudden the Ewoks, who had been befriended by Leia and Han and Chewie and the droids, and they thought C-3PO was one of their gods, because why not? He's shiny. They all attack the Imperials and they turn the tides. So they're fighting back against the Imperials. There's a lot of hilarious things because these little teddy bear looking dudes are beating the hell out of these giant stormtrooper dudes. It's really funny. You know, it's cool. It's awesome. So anyway, so the Emperor back on the Death Star, the Emperor is telling Luke, like, you know, turn to the dark side, join us, we can rule the galaxy. You know, take your father, you kill your father and take his place, you know, whatever. Just let the hate hate flow through you. And Luke's like, no, I ain't gonna do that. But anyway, he's still kind of getting a little upset about this. So he reaches out with the Force and snatches his lightsaber, and he goes to kill the Emperor. And then boom, Darth Vader done throwed his lightsaber up. So then we get a lightsaber battle. So there's some really good lightsaber battle at the time. Okay, look. The lightsaber battles in the prequel trilogy and in the sequel trilogy were awesome. But in the original trilogy, it was a little bit calmer. Like they really didn't do a lot of the Force acrobatics and jumps and stuff. Motorcycle. And it was kind of, you know, as comparatively, it's not as exciting, but for that time period, it was an awesome battle. And there was more than just lightsaber combat. There was some tactics and stuff like that, and Luke had the high ground, and then they're underneath the throne room, and it's just different awesome stuff. Well, then Vader tells Luke, oh, by the way, I have felt the presence of your sister. So if I can't turn you, I'll turn her. And Luke flips out and starts attacking the hell out of his old man and chops off his old man's prosthetic hand. Those things are not cheap, Luke. Okay, you know you've got a prosthetic hand and you just chopped his off, and now he's got no prosthetic hand on this side. So anyway, they back and forth. Well, the Emperor, he comes in, and he's like, go ahead and kill your father. Take your place by my side. We'll just leave his old man to the side. And Luke turns around, deactivates his lightsaber, and he says that line. He says, I'm a Jedi like my father before me. And then the Emperor's like, well, okay, I know what to do with Jedi. And he starts zapping him with Force lightning, because, you know, he's pretty good at that. So he's just zapping Luke, and Luke's on the floor crying like a little farm boy pussy that he is sometimes. I'm sorry, I like Luke Skywalker, forgive me. Anyway, if I was getting Force lightning, I'd be curled up into a ball crying too. I ain't gonna try and play. Anyway, so he's sitting there shocking him and torturing him, and Vader's watching this, and Vader's like, and you can't see nothing because he got a mask on, but you can see him like, oh, this is my son. He has done all this to try and turn me back to the good because he felt good in me. And he's like, wait, can't do that no more. And he picks the Emperor up and he throws his ass down the reactor shaft. I don't know why there's reactor shafts everywhere in Star Wars. You would think the Imperials would put like a safety net or at least some chains or a sign or something, but they don't. Because a lot of bad guys die that way. Or do they? Darth Maul, looking at you. Anyway, so Darth Vader throws the Emperor down the reactor shaft, saving Luke. And then he collapses because he's been electrocuted, and he has had his son beat the crap out of him with lightsabers for a few minutes. And so Luke tries to help him out, and they get out. And Vader's like, look, I am not going to make it. I want to look at you one time with my real eyes. And Luke's like, you can't, you're going to die if that happens. And he's like, look around, dude, I'm dead anyway. So Luke pulls Vader's helmet off, and he actually looks Anakin Skywalker in the eye. And instead of Dave Prowse is now Sebastian Shaw. Dave Prowse was not happy about that, but, you know, I mean, sorry, but that's what happened. At least they didn't replace him with Hayden Christensen in the special edition. Anyway, so it was a really touching moment between father and son. At the same time, Han and company has gotten into the shield bunker. They set charges. They blew up the shield generator, which allowed the Rebel Alliance into space. Lando and Nien is in the Millennium Falcon, which Antilles in his X-Wing and some other X-Wings. They fly into the Death Star superstructure, and they make it to the center, to the reactor core, hit that sucker with some torpedoes of protons, and then fly back out. This allows the Death Star to go boom. At the same time, the entire fleet is facing all these Star Destroyers, and the Executor, the Super Star Destroyer, which is the flag vessel, the fleet. It's Vader's personal, awesome, big-ass ship. Anyway, so an A-Wing kind of flies through the command section accidentally, destroys the command section, and it gets caught in the gravitational pull of the Death Star. So they come together and explosion. Millennium Falcon and Wedge and his X-Wing, they make it out of the wreckage, and Home One, Admiral Akbar and all his other officers are celebrating. They're like, yeah, we beat them. I don't know what happened to the other Super Star Destroyers, or the other Star Destroyers, the Imperial class. Anyway, it doesn't really explain that, but I guess you watch your two biggest super weapons get blowed up together, and you're like, all right, maybe this plucky group of rebels can do something. So anyway, so they win. So Luke gets off the Death Star. He steals an Imperial shuttle. He brings his father's body to the forest moon of Endor, and he builds a funeral pyre, burns his father's armor, which we later see in The Force Awakens. It's all charred up and charcoal, but hey, Kylo Ren, emo little weird dude, whatever. Anyway, so they're all hanging out, and Leia tells Han that Luke is her brother, so there's not really anything romantic going on there, so that Han and Leia can get some romance going on, which I think is wonderful, because I think love is a beautiful thing. And Luke's kind of hanging out, and he sees the ghost. Sir Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Yoda as Yoda, and okay, now we have Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. I don't know, but it was awesome though. George explained it in a DVD commentary that because he turned to the light, that he got his legs and stuff back, and he lost his disfiguring injuries. I don't know if I buy that, but it's George's vision, and I love everything about Star Wars. So, okay, that's what it is. That's cool. So then we got celebrations. If you watch the original version of it, it's just a really big celebration at the Ewok village. If you watch the special editions, which is what's in the theater now, then you get to see scenes from Coruscant, from Naboo, from all over, where everybody's just celebrating the fall of the Empire. And it's actually really cool, and it brings like the whole saga together more cohesively. So it's just a really good ending. Credits roll. So like I said, I love this movie. It is not my top Star Wars movie. That honor is reserved for The Empire Strikes Back, Episode 5. But it is definitely up there, one of my favorites. And again, I was so glad to get to go see it at the theater. If you've not seen it, I hope you watch it. You can get Star Wars. You can go to Walmart and pick up the DVDs, or Best Buy, I'm sure, still has them. If not, you can get them online. You can rent it off of Google Play or Amazon or Vudu, wherever you rent or buy digital movies from. If you are at your grandma's house and she still has cable or satellite, then TBS or TNT runs these things all the time. It's not hard to watch Star Wars. Disney Plus always has them too, so you can watch it anytime if you've got a Disney Plus subscription. So it's not hard to watch Return of the Jedi if you need to, and you need to, because it's a great movie. So that's it for my take on Return of the Jedi. Again, I just want to give a shout out again to the Zone Collectables at 305 Main Street in Tifton. The Zone Collectables on Facebook, Spotlight Media on Facebook, and the Zone Collectables at gmail.com. The Clady Clan is awesome. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do for all of us around here. Quick shout out to my buddies Hassel and Monster over at the Nerdy Man Room Show and Hassel's Review. They do a couple of shows a week, all things nerdy and exciting. They did a show on the Power Rangers 30th anniversary episode. It was pretty good if you like Power Rangers. I think they've got a Star Wars episode coming up for May the 4th. Hassel is reviewing movies recently, but he also reviews toys and a bunch of other awesome stuff. So check him out. They're on YouTube. They're also on social media all over the place. I'll try to put their information up. They are also on Roku TV on the Southern Joy Media channel. And my show is with Hassel's Review on Roku TV. So check us out that way if you prefer to do it that way. If not, I'm still going to be here on YouTube. I'm not going away from that anytime soon unless you guys all quit watching, and then I might. But tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell your co-workers. If you enjoyed the show, hit me a like, subscribe to see when I drop no videos, which is generally on Sundays. Hit the bell and it'll let you know. Leave me a comment, leave me a question, leave me a complaint. I'll be back next week. Again, probably something to do with Star Wars, because it will be around Star Wars Day, and I love Star Wars, so those things all work together. But I will see you then. I hope everybody has a great week. May the Force be with you.